Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. Hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. And welcome back to, of course, Chelsea News, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about the Blues, giving you my opinion on it, more importantly, asking for yours, man. Lots of stuff to get into today in the world of Chelsea. Real Madrid, they want Reece James, didn't they? Does it surprise you? Not really. Will they get him? No. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Antonio Rudiger and his situation with the contract and the deadline, apparently, in terms of when he wants his decision made regarding Chelsea. And a director of football, man. Like, is this a good thing? What does this mean for the sort of, the group of, well, the duo of Marina Granovskaya and Petr Cech? Do they stay? Do they go? Chelsea haven't had like a technical director or a football director really since Michael Emenalo, so lots to get into there. I'd urge you all to please do consider dropping a like on the video because it supports the content. And of course, you are all welcome to subscribe to the channel. So settle in and get comfortable, friends. And you know what, let's start off with the situation with the director of football. New Chelsea owners, the prospective Chelsea owners, are considering Paul Mitchell for director of football. Now, Paul Mitchell is the DOF at Monaco, highly rated, or is becoming more and more rated around the world of football, and Chelsea are looking at him, as are other big clubs. Apparently Manchester United also having a little eye at him. What does this mean? Because in terms of running the club, Marina Granovskaya does that. But she is more like chief negotiator and day-to-day running rather than perhaps like a philosophical director of football. And then you think, alright, so what's Petr Cech doing? Well, he's performance and technical advisor. Technically, not a football director. So you could say, they both could stay, and you could bring in a director of football. And also, it's important to note that Thomas Tuchel is very, very happy with the working relationship between himself, Marina Granovskaya, and of course, Petr Cech. Marino just won that award for Best Football Director. Petr Cech is a very intelligent man. He kind of works as that buffer between players, Marina, manager. I don't know, you just don't want to split them up. But another thing to consider is Thomas Tuchel, who of course has said on multiple occasions he's very, very happy with how things work at Chelsea. Would he be alright with a football director coming in? Because they often try and, impose their philosophy or, kind of on the club, and the managers kind of almost, when you think of footballing directors, you think of managers coming in to suit what the football director does. Do you know what I mean? And you had these figures historically like Arsene Wenger at Arsenal that did not like the idea of football directors because it's almost coming in and treading on the manager's toes. How would Thomas Tuchel feel about that? It's just important to know that he's very, very happy with how things are, like the status quo, and I don't really like the idea of jeopardizing that. But then again, I mean, it's a sort of, not a buzzword, but it's kind of vogue, isn't it? Like, you get a football director, you get a director of football, and you're going to be okay. It's what all the Man United fans have been gagging for ages. But then again, there's been no continuity, and there's been no direction at Manchester United, so you kind of get that. And Chelsea fans are happy with what Thomas Tuchel is trying to do, wants to do generally. So I can kind of understand that, maybe just let him cook, man. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens there. We'll follow this story. I'm not referencing an article for that today because it's in, multiple headlines. Excuse me, it's in multiple publications. You can check that out yourself. Just simply Google Paul Mitchell, Chelsea, or director of football and stuff. We're going to cite a little bit in a moment from Simon Johnson's piece on The Athletic regarding Rudiger, but let's first quickly jump and talk about Reece James, because this is a bit of fun, and I will be citing this from the Metro in case you guys know, but again, this is, Reece James, Real Madrid. It's been linked all around the media. Real Madrid, I move for Chelsea's Reece James this summer. Also, I haven't read this, so we're going to go through this in just a second. I heard something like, Real Madrid were impressed by how Reece James played against them in the Bernabeu, so they want to buy him. Is this how the biggest club in the world in Real Madrid, or supposedly biggest club in the world, scout? Oh, he played well against us. Let's buy him. Do you know what I mean? Like, do they have like multi-million-pound scouting networks where they watch players for at least the whole season, if not more, and figure out, yeah, they'll suit our system. Not, oh, bloody hell, he played good against us, we should just bring him into our team after that match. I don't know, man. Real Madrid will target a move for Chelsea right-back Reece James this summer, according to reports. James, 22, played against Real Madrid in the Champions League quarter-finals this month, and Carlo Ancelotti is said to have been impressed after seeing the Englishman perform up close. Pause. Carlo Ancelotti has seen the Englishman perform up close. Carlo Ancelotti, until very recently, was the manager of Everton Football Club. He knows all about Reece James, mate. The Mirror says Real have watched James 9 times this season. Okay, bit of scouting. And have now decided the player... he is the player they are looking for to fill the right-hand side of their defence. Ancelotti could be minded to shake up his squad at the end of the season, despite his side's run to the Champions League semi-finals and imminent La Liga triumph. Well, to be honest, despite winning all that, he could still get sacked. So, you know, maybe plan slowly, Carlo. The likes of Luka Modric and Karim Benzema are now well into their mid-30s, and Real are desperate in need of young blood like James. Also, Benzema is a striker, and Modric is a central midfielder. Granted, Reece James can play central midfield, but you would not be buying him to replace Modric, so, In their last match against Chelsea in the Bernabeu, Dani Carvajal, 30 years old, was selected as Real's right-back and struggled against the pace of Chelsea's forward line. I get it, James would be an upgrade on Carvajal, but it seems unlikely the Blues would sell their academy product considering he's the natural successor to 32-year-old Cesar Azpilicueta. With 3 years left to run on James's current deal, it would take a huge offer to prize him away from West London. Amen. Since breaking through at Chelsea under Frank Lampard in 2019, James has emerged as one of England's most promising players. In the last 3 seasons, he has been heavily involved in the first team picture at Stamford Bridge, making 75 Premier League appearances and has developed an eye for goal, scoring 6 times so far this term. He's also become a regular fixture in Gareth Southgate's England. He's made 10 caps already. Look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Reece James is not going to Real Madrid. Many of you hope he's a future captain, but this is kind of like, look, man, it's kind of like entitled Real Madrid Galactico long-term mindset perspective. They're like, we are the best, and if there's a player that's good, he just comes here naturally. We don't care if you're playing better football than us at the moment. We don't care if you're... You know, this is no disrespect to Carlo Ancelotti, who's, by the way, is footballing royalty. And after he won La Liga, he's the first manager to win all 5 major leagues in Europe, which is incredible. But, you know, Carlo's old. He's not like a young, innovative coach. Thomas Tuchel is probably the manager you'd want out of the two, considering, you know, Carlo finished 10th with Everton last season. I know that's more of a reflection on Everton than him, but let's be real here. So, like, you know, he's playing under Tuchel. He's a boyhood Chelsea fan. He wants to play in the best league in the world, in the Premier League. But despite all that, Real Madrid will still be like, yeah, come over here. Of course you're going to come over here. This is Real Madrid. Anyway, whatever. We move on. It's a funny story. Lol, lol, lol. Trollolololol. But, you know, it's a story in the headlines, and that's what we react to here on Chelsea News. Let's move on. Let's talk about Big Tony Rudiger. We're going to read an extract. Only an extract from Simon Johnson's piece on The Athletic. Of course, we know the situation with Tony Rudiger. He came... Well, let's read from here. It's talking about the contract negotiations and how it sort of stopped and was problematic between the defender and Chelsea. Near the end of 2021, it did not look like Chelsea had a chance of retaining Rudiger's services. There had been no talks for months after the club's only offer in August was seen as a bit of an insult. Rudiger is one of Chelsea's lowest paid senior players at 90 grand a week and was offered a sum that would still see him below Ruben Loftus-Cheek's 150k per week. Brackets, Rudiger has gone on to start 47 games for the club so far this season. Loftus-Cheek only 14. Of course, Ruben's younger. Looked like for a while Ruben could be, you know, really good attacking / end defensive players. It's important to note here, defenders have always got paid less. It's like the further you go back to the pitch, the less you get paid. That's almost sort of been the rule. I think that's changing, though. There has been no talks for months after the... Okay, we've already read that. So, early 14. So, the insiders had told The Athletic, so their sources from Chelsea, that his mind was made up and he wanted to leave Chelsea. Dun, dun, dun. But Chelsea then reported negotiations over a 4-year deal in December, and things had been more positive ever since said talks in December. Until Abramovich was sanctioned, of course, over a month ago. A key player in all this is still perhaps ending favourably for Chelsea is head coach Thomas Tuchel. So yeah, a really key person to make this deal happen. He has made it clear to the board and to the player how much he wants countryman Rudiger to stay and be part of his squad next season. Their relationship is described as extremely strong. Rudiger has not felt this kind of connection with any Chelsea coach since he joined from Roma for £29 million. Woo, bargain, in 2017. And it ranks up there among the best he's had in his senior career that he began with Stuttgart a decade ago. Well, long in the game. If anyone could convince Rudiger to wait a few weeks longer, it's Thomas Tuchel. He has made Rudiger feel wanted and valued. It is a stark contrast to what he experienced with Frank Lampard, of course, he was left out of the team, who dropped him from the team early last season after trying to loan him somewhere else. God, remember when he was being linked to Tottenham? Doesn't that make you feel sick now? That's terrifying. So this is a bond that began before Tuchel arrived, actually. He made attempts to sign Rudiger amid the problems of Lampard. Okay, so he wanted to sign him to PSG, as well as, the Tottenham links. This month, Tuchel still sounded upbeat about the situation despite the delay. Interesting. He's still our player. We still think there's a good chance he stays and the things are resolved. He keeps saying this, Tuchel. He's really, really positive. He's like, yeah, man, why would he leave? I mean, come on, man. Rudiger said himself he's happy here. He loves the fans. Both his children are born here. He wants to stay. Tuchel goes on to say, our hands are tied. We cannot speak or negotiate him with his agent because of the sanctions. Fair enough. If it's true, he can listen to offers. That's the way things go. But I am still confident. And of course, he's responding here to his brother going to negotiations or long-term dinners with Barcelona. Look, the truth is, there's an implication in this story that Rudiger wants to get this sorted before the end of April, which is about 10-ish days, which is not a long time at all. And you can't imagine necessarily it will get solved this. Well, at the moment, officially, Chelsea cannot negotiate. So there is that. But I'm still confident. I know Tuchel's still confident. And Rudiger wants to stay. The fans sing his name all the time. I think it's going to happen. I'm going to stick my neck out and say it's going to happen. And Rudiger will sign a new deal with Chelsea. But what do you think? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. I want to hear it. I want to start up the conversation with you guys, the viewers. I appreciate everyone that liked the video. And of course, you're all welcome to subscribe and join the Football Therapy family. Oh, yeah. All right. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living. I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines. I rap through thought. Body bag the verse. Outlined in chalk. In my life, seen trouble, hustle on the double, silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, bitch.